नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. I am just now here at the home of Shyamsundar Prabhu. I arrived yesterday. Very happy to see you all coming together, chanting in the early morning hours here. Very wonderful habit. So two things are very important for any spiritual sadhaka. One is to prepare a ground to progress in spiritual life, which is like sleeping early, rising early, keeping our health good, and be available to serve the Lord in the early morning hours, in the Brahma Muhurta hours. Because His Holiness Tamaksha Maharaj, in one of the recordings, he says, those who rise above the, before the Mangalarti, the early morning hours, and those who chant their rounds, he tells his disciples, I can guarantee you, you will go back home, back to Godhead. He says that, one of his videos. He says that early morning hours, the disturbance is practically nil. And they are the golden hours. The scriptures very much extol the glories of the early morning hours. But for us to be able to be fully available, why am I using the word fully available? Because if somebody slept at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and then morning they come, they cannot be fully available. Physically they may be present, but their mind will be going for a toss. So that means one has to sleep early, one has to have a light stomach in the night, one has to be healthy, and then one is available in the early morning hours. Just like if you are going to go a long distance driving, say 2000 miles, first thing you will do is to load your car with petrol or diesel or whatever, some fuel. Then you leave after that. Similarly, early morning hours is the time for loading ourselves with spiritual energy. So when we have to interact with living entities during the day, whether it be the family members or the professional situation or friend circle, everywhere we have to deal with different type of living beings. So we get that strength, inner strength and anchoring for us to be able to be sober in all situations, steady. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about steadiness. The steadiness is not so that we can have a cool head and we won't suffer. The steadiness is to be able to focus on the Lord. That is the purpose of steadiness. Most often, nowadays many people in different organizations, they talk about sthira buddhi, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, mana, apamana, and all this you should be steady, which is very good. But the purpose of steadiness is not that we will be peaceful and happy, which is what most people talk about. The purpose of peace is to use that peace as a springboard to remember the Lord. Otherwise the peace is good for nothing. Because in this world the peace is not long lasting, the peace is short lived. So everlasting peace is there only in lotus feet of the Lord, shelter of the Lord. So therefore a devotee should rise early in the morning and make the morning hours devoted to the Lord's service, the very first as the top priority of the activity of the day. So one important thing for even those who are early rising devotees is that sometimes the other priorities sometimes come and compete with spiritual priority. It's like sometimes there is a hole in the boat and we may be slightly neglectful about it. We are thinking that it's a small hole, it doesn't make any difference. So the gradual fall down is more dangerous than a sudden fall down. Because a sudden fall down is easily understandable. Immediately one may get up and spring back to action, do the needful. Whereas a slow, gradual fall down is like a hole in the boat, which gradually, other priorities, how they came in, you wonder. Like I cleaned my room one day thoroughly, fully. I put phenol and everything, I washed and kept the books in order, the table became clean and everything became neat, and then I put agarbatti in the room and I thought my room is eternally clean now, forever. And within a couple of weeks, how little things came up, I don't know. How the papers came on the table, some books were taken out of the cupboard and kept here and there, some buckets came, some this came, that came. Then one day I looked around, I saw, my Lord, I am in the midst of a mess. How these things came up, I don't know, because our life is super fast. So other priorities come and they spoil the cleanliness of the room. In the same manner, within our mind also, many other priorities come. So it is true that early rising is good, but in that one should achieve consistency and steadiness over a long period, like a marathon. It's not a sprint to be run for just 100 meters. Marathon means lifelong marathon it is. So therefore, one should watch oneself how one is doing. Just like you charge your battery, you charge your mobile, do you charge 15-20% or do you charge it 100% in the morning, early morning? What people do? 100%. We prefer 100% because we know the reason. Otherwise, somewhere in the middle of the road, it will get discharged, isn't it? So therefore, we don't just chant a few rounds in the morning. We complete our rounds, at least 16 rounds minimum, fully. We completed. Then we are fully charged. Then we can go all day out. So this is one aspect I was telling. Out of the two aspects, this is the first aspect I was telling. And the second aspect is even more important one. After making ourselves available to the Lord physically and even verbally by uttering the holy name, Hare Krishna with the mouth, the most important thing that many people find it difficult is to bring their mind. We say Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Out of the three, Kaya and Vacha they bring, but bringing Manasa is very difficult. And one may ask, why is it so? The reason is very beautifully explained by Shrutadeva in his prayer to Lord Krishna in Mithilapuri, when Lord arrived. So many things Shrutadeva spoke. He said that these sages who are traveling with you, they are carrying you in their hearts and they are also having you by their side because they came in the same chariot with you. And you are shining like the sun, and the sages also have become effulgent by the Lord's shine. And he said, these sages, and the Lord actually glorified the sages, that these sages are actually like the walking, talking scriptures. They are like a tirtha, like a, they are like walking, talking holy places. Yeah, they are like walking, talking holy places or walking, talking tirthas. And he was glorifying the Lord was glorifying them. Lord was trying to deflect away. Lord was feeling some sankoch that this was glorifying only me always. So the Lord deflected the glorification to the sages. So, while doing so, Shrutadeva made one very striking point while glorifying the Lord. He said, why the living entity cannot see your form? So he gave an explanation to that. He said, most of the living entities are absorbed in their own karmas of good and bad, Shita Ushna, Sukha Dukkha, Mana Paman, Labha Labh, Jai Parajai. If somebody gets Jai, they get arrogant and proud. Somebody gets Parajai, they submerge themselves in depression and lamentation. So, in this way, the living entity becomes absorbed in his own good karma and bad karma. And that absorption is like a bubble which surrounds the living entity and makes him completely, occupies his mind. Completely occupies his mind. So, even if the Lord comes and stands in front of a person is unable to see his presence. And And when Shrutadev says this point, when Lord was telling Shrutadev, you have been always seeing me, he said. Lord asked, how? He said, at the dawn of creation, you brought us to this world, millions and millions of years ago. And you have set us in motion in three gunas, in this world. And we are running here and there trying to, make the ends meet and, gather the vital commodities and survive in this world with food, clothing, shelter and everything. We became preoccupied and busy, and while we were busy, you were watching us. Even when the jiva is asleep, the Lord is watching. The jiva is running here and there, Lord is watching. Your eyes are unblinking eyes which are constantly watching our movements of not just one or two living entities, but all the living entities. So since then up to now you have been watching, and you are coming and saying that you are meeting me after a long time. What are you talking? You have been all the while seeing. Actually what you said, I should say that. Okay, I am looking at you after a long time. He said, because at that time I saw you and now I am seeing you because you have come to my hut. So I am seeing you, he said. We are seeing you. And then that is the time he made this point. That why living entities are not able to see you, because they become absorbed in their own karmas, bubble of their, dualities. Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Mana, Paman, Jaya, Parajaya, Labha, Labha, all these things. On the other hand, now somebody may say, if that is the case with everybody, all the living entities in this world, how are the pure devotees able to see the lotus feet of the Lord? How they are able to see the form of the Lord, His qualities and His pastimes? How are they able to elevate their vision to that? Somebody may have a question. So you will see that the pure devotees of the Lord, it's not that they have no anxieties. You can take an example. Prahlad was troubled by so many external pressures from the father especially and the teachers. If you take, for example, Akrura, he was working in the palace of Kamsa. Day in and day out, Kamsa's atrocities were visible. he was watching that. You will see that. So similarly, you will see Bhishma was in the Asat Sabha of the Kauravas. He had to spend practically all his life. You will see like that. Similarly, Yashodamaya, for example, when Krishna goes to the forest, she has been all the while in anxiety, thinking about, Krishna is so naughty and he is very soft, having a soft body but yet very dashing. She would think that sometimes when Krishna and Balaram were small kids, one day Yashoda came out to the kitchen and she saw outside in the field, Krishna and Balaram, two small kids, were hanging on the two horns of a big bull. A big bull had a huge horn like this, and both of them were catching one horn and hanging. She shouted, told the other gopis, hey, look at this guy, dangerous. The bull may harm their body, and they are hanging and playing. Sometimes Krishna would open the mouth of a monkey and count the number of teeth. She would be afraid that the monkey should not bite his fingers. Similarly, she would worry that the monkey should not scratch his body. The cows or bull should not put their feet on Krishna's thighs, which is so soft like butter. Or Krishna should not fall into some kund in Vrindavan when he is going to forest. So, it's not that they had no anxiety, but her anxiety increased her remembrance of Krishna. All these anxieties. Similarly, the other fellows, other pure devotees, names I took now, a few of them, you will see that, in those, living in the midst of those difficulties, they used it as a springboard to, accelerate the devotion service and intensify the remembrance of the Lord. So, just like, for example, in a garden, if a child is playing, if a bumblebee comes, the child immediately will jump up and run to the father. Once the child is in father's lap, the child is peaceful. There is no worry. So, the bumblebee is certainly a trouble, but the trouble impels the child to remember the father. Similarly, in our life also, Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna, Mana, Paman, all these dualities, they are all trouble giving. And most people want to see that these troubles are stopped, so we can be peaceful. But actually, you will see that whether material realm or spiritual realm, there are material anxieties or spiritual anxieties in both places. The only peaceful place is the 0, which is Brahma Jyoti. So, In Brahma Jyoti, the Jiva may be thinking, now I am peaceful, I can relax, but there is no service there in Brahma Jyoti. And also it's a metastable state. It is not a stable state. The stable state is spiritual world. Material world is unstable. 0, 0 is metastable. Spiritual world is stable. Now why it's metastable state? Aruhya kritrena param padam tataha patanti adho anadata ishmadangreha. Like that Bhagavatam says. Ye anyaravindakshamamuktamaninas tvayastabhavad vishuddha buddhayaha aruhya kritrena param padam tataha patanti adho anadata ishmadangreha. He says that although one may attain that peaceful, so-called peaceful state, because of lack of activity, the jiva falls back to this material world. Patanti ado, he says. So that means even that state is not an everlasting state. There is always a possibility of falling back. So, if you go to heaven, we fall back. If you go to Brahma Jyoti, for a long time we may stay, but there is always a possibility of falling back. When you go to the spiritual world, we don't fall back, but there are spiritual anxieties in the spiritual world also, which arise from love. There is fear arising from pure love for the Lord. Like Yashoda has pure love for Krishna. Even we can see in our home also, like mother, father, brother, sister, son, everybody living, we fear about our near and dear ones, that they should be safe. People ask, have you reached this thing, are you safe? So, where there is love, there is some amount of fear, but that fear actually arises out of desire to protect. But in the material world, the anxieties that we take keeps us plunged in the rat race, and we are slapped and whipped by Maya in varieties of ways. And the living entity on one hand is separated from Krishna, on the other hand is engaged in fruitless activity, correct, in the material world. Whereas in the spiritual world, the living entity is in the presence of the Lord, and every apparent anxiety, like gopis are thinking Krishna has gone to the forest. But although he has gone to the forest, the Leela Smaranam they do is making them remember Krishna even more than his personal presence. The Acharyas have said that the separation from Krishna is not like in the material world where people are separated from their near and dear ones. Here one feels the pangs of separation, whereas there the pangs increase remembrance. It's actually more sweeter. Like we say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's like that. So, therefore, when we are coming in the morning for Brahma Muhurta time, for chanting, we bring the body. We also bring our words by uttering the holy name. At the same time, we have to bring the mind also. So, in conclusion, I will make a suggestion about how our mind can be brought to the ground level, where we can hear the holy name nicely. So, two very important things we should think before we begin the chanting of the holy name. Sripad Shankaracharya has said that early morning when you rise, you should think about the Gajendra Moksha scene. How the Gajendra is caught with the crocodile and he is calling out the Lord and offering a flower to the Lord. So for us, what is the crocodile? The material body and the mind. This is a crocodile for us, which has captured the jiva. Now we are trapped, we cannot escape out of this body, two bodies, gross and subtle body. And why it's a crocodile? Because these two are the agents which are giving us suffering. You can see that. Gross body gives diseases and subtle body gives depression and lamentation. So these two crocodiles, the crocodile with these two items, they are catching the soul and not letting the soul return back to Godhead. So we all are caught like Gajendra was caught. So one should meditate on this. And even though he was caught by the crocodile, Gajendra did not fail to worship the Lord. He took a flower. That is the best thing he could do. He immediately picked up the flower and he offered it to Lord. Immediately offered it to Lord Vishnu, even in such a sankat position also. That's the first thing we can understand from Gajendra. Also, you can remember Lord's promise to us. He says, Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha maya veshita chetasam mayyeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mayyeva atavurdvam na samshaya. So in these verses, the Lord is saying, aham samuddharta, I personally will deliver the souls, he is saying. It's one of the many vachan Lord has given, many promises. One of the promises in the Gita is this, Tesham aham samuddharta, I will personally come to deliver the jiva, jiva who takes shelter of me. Mrityu samsara sagarat. So you have seen the picture of one devotee who is in the ocean and then he is raising both the arms and then Lord is coming in Garuda Correct? No, he's picking up. So that is one thing devotee should remember. That if I chant the holy name, the Lord has given a promise that he will personally come and deliver me. So, remember the Gajendra Moksha, and remember the Lord delivering us. And another thing we can remember is, most important verse spoken by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame babam budhau kripaya tava pada pankajastita duli sadrisham vichintaya. He's saying that somehow that I have fallen into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up and place me in your lotus feet and engage me in your service like one of the millions of devotees who are serving you. So, once upon a time, an ant crawling on a tree branch, it slipped and fell down. But there was a river flowing. And the ant thought that I am going to go down the river and die. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Anadi karma phale padiva varnava jale Haribare Taribarana deki upay. He's saying, sir. He's saying, Anadi karma phale. Since time immemorial I have been performing karma. Due to the karma phala, I have fallen into this fastly moving river or ocean. That I have fallen. Padi Bhavarnava Jale. Bhavarnava means the cycle of birth and death. I have fallen into that. Saribara Nadeki Upai. I don't know how to come out. And that was the situation of the ant also. But on the tree branch there was a dove sitting. And the dove tore a leaf and dropped it down. So as soon as the ant saw the leaf next to it, it immediately boarded the leaf. And the leaf moved this way, that way, and then it came to the shore. And the ant could get off from the river. And then again it climbed up and attained a safe position. So, in this analogy, the river is the samsara in which we are in. And the tree is the spiritual world. And the dove is like Srila Prabhupada and Acharya. Correct? And we are falling in the river. But they are throwing the leaf. What is the leaf? Leaf is ISKCON. So we just have to board it. Already we have boarded it. We have to remain safe, not jump off. Then we can come to the shore. So every morning we should remember gratefully Acharyas have made a way for us by which we can return back home, back to Godhead. So in this way, these three examples which I told you, these three examples remind us about our fallen position in the world and how fallen devotees connected with the Lord and elevated themselves to return back to Lord. These three examples. And apart from the three, we also should remember the positive examples, like, we should remember at the dawn of creation, the whole universe was enveloped by darkness. Brahma was sitting on the lotus. So you can also, as soon as you begin chanting, go and sit next to Brahma below. Brahma is sitting on lotus, you can sit below next to him. Brahma is, what did he do? When he chanted in the beginning, he was chanting Kama Gayatri mantra, we are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So we are given Mahamantra by Prabhupada, we chanted. And he was given Kama Gayatri by the flute of Krishna, so he was chanting that. 100 celestial years he performed the penance. So that should inspire us, at least for 2 hours we should chant. Correct? Correct? Isn't it? Not a very big austerity we are doing, isn't it? So at least 2 hours if you sit and chant, the result of his chanting was what? The darkness cleared and he saw the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So, and he was charmed, and then there was a nupur in his feet, and then there was a pitambar and jeweled belt. Then he saw the chest with Kaustuba jewel and the Siva Chachana also. He saw the 4 bluish arms with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, Lord carrying. And then he saw the smiling beautiful face of the Lord. The Lord came forward and took Brahma's hands and shook his hands in great joy and congratulated Brahma. Prabhupada says that the first handshake authority gives to subordinate. Prabhupada says that. After that, all the managers, they catch your hand and shake. You have seen that? You ask any manager, why are you shaking? They don't know the reason. You have seen that? Any manager you ask, where did they learn this? Prabhupada says, originally it comes from Vishnu shaking the hand of Brahma. So first thing Vishnu gave him was appreciation. Then he gave him revelation. He showed the whole Vaikuntha planets to him. He said, your tapasya is complete, you have become purified now, here is Vaikuntha, I am going to show you. So he saw Vaikuntha women were flying, and men and women, Vaikuntha Vasis were flying, busily rendering virtual services, big mandapams and beautiful lakes and beautiful creepers, everything he saw. So Brahma was amazed, stunned by seeing Vaikuntha. Thirdly, the Lord gave him a responsible position. He said, I am going to make you the leader of the whole universe. because you have proved yourself that you are a perfect devotee of mine. You have performed the penances, and I am satisfied with your penance. You have become purified. So you can take this post of leader of the whole universe. The Lord gave him responsible position. Then the Lord asked him, do you want any benedictions? So before Brahma can think of asking any benediction, Lord told, the best benediction you already got. The Lord said, my darshan. You will not need any more benediction, because once somebody has attained my darshan, for him there will be no lack in his life. Everything you need will be arranged by me. Yoga kshemam ahamyaham. Nevertheless, if you still have some desires, I can fulfill it. Ask me, he said. So Brahma asked, you are telling me I am the leader of the universe, I am afraid. Because what I have to do, I don't know. I know the job description. I don't know my profile. I only know I am a leader, but what is the leader supposed to do? I am completely ignoramus. Lord said, don't worry, that I will give you the blueprint. You just have to execute. The Lord said. So he became very happy. And then he said, oh, you are telling me that I should arrange the 14 planetary systems and create all the species of life. But in my creation, if nasty living entities may also come. Sometimes Pishach, Bhoot, Pret and all those Rakshasas, Yakshas and that will come. So how will I not get polluted in my creation? Just like we go for preaching. Sometimes, some people come and dump a lot of negativity into us, correct, no? In preaching. So how will I remain pure? Lord said, if you always remember me, I will always be there with you to protect you. Like that he asked some questions. So 4 things Lord gave Brahma. Appreciation and revelation, responsible position, benediction. So all of us will also get these 4 things. You will see that Lord, when we are chanting the holy name, when we will get appreciation. From all quarters will come when you practice spiritual life very sincerely. Lord gives you a lot of encouragement from juniors, from equals, from seniors, from guru, from various quarters. You will see that. Similarly, the revelation will come, because if some revelation has not happened in our life, we won't be able to even continue also. Everybody is given, see, realization and revelation differences. Realization goes from top down, top up, from down to top. Like we realize something and get it confirmation of it. Whereas revelation comes from top down. Lord reveals many things which, in spiritual life, the faith that we have developed is revelation. Those things are revealed to us, therefore we have developed the faith now. And thirdly, the responsible position. Immediately somebody will ask you, Prabhu, would you like to be a BB leader? Prabhu, would you like to take preaching? Lohitaksh Prabhu, can you take BB preaching? Immediately you will get some service, correct, no? You get a responsible position. And fourthly, benedictions. All benedictions will be given to you in order to execute that responsibility effectively also. So early morning when we chant, we should remember our Adi Guru is Krishna, Krishna Mani Jagat Guru, but he made Brahma the Guru of this parampara. He is our first Guru in our parampara. So we remember how Brahma cleared the darkness by performing spiritual penance. So we are also going to sit and clear away the darkness of ignorance from our life by chanting the holy name. Another person we should think is Dhruva. Dhruva, we can pray to Dhruva, although he was a 5-year-old boy. When he went to forest, he heard the lions roaring, serpents crawling, but he was determined to perform his penance. He did not fear the penance in the forest, and he was very austere also. And then he, like we are chanting Hare Krishna, he chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are also worshipping Krishna, he also was worshipping, the deity form of the Lord. He went to Madhuvan and we have our sacred home with the altar. So similar situation. Just we have to perform the penance of chanting. And then, why I was telling Dhruva, he went with material desire, but after meeting the Lord, that was cleared. Similarly, we all have many impurities in our mind, and then by chanting the holy name, Krishna will clear those impurities. And he will give darshan. So one should remember Dhruva. Similarly, one should remember the Dasiputra, who later on became Narada. See, Dasiputra is a fallen position, but Narada is the most exalted position. So most fallen person became most exalted, and he got darshan of the Lord also in the forest. Hanta asmin janmani bhavan mamam drakshamiharkasi avivakva kashayanam durdarshoham kuyoginam. Lord told him, 2 things you have to do, my dear boy. Those who have not adequately performed services and those who have not cleared their mind of all impurities, they can hardly have my darshan, the Lord said. So we all are also given 2 homework. Purify your heart of the karma, jnana, yoga tendencies of proprietorship, controllership, enjoyership mentality, which is coming out in the form of lust, anger and greed. So that is one purification we have to do. Another thing the Lord told him is completeness in services. So we are rendering little service. We have to increase our service to a point where 24/7 we are thinking of only Krishna service. In this way, Narada boy from most fallen position, he went to most exalted position of a pure devotee Narada. So 3 examples I told you. So 3 examples. First I told you to remember to pray to go above the fallen position, like I told you Gajendra. Which is the other one I said? Gajendra and that Tesham Aham Samudarta verse. That one I said, and then which is the third one? Ainanda Tanaja Kinkaram. That example of the ant which fell into the... So these 3 examples are from the samsara to rise up. And the next 3 examples I gave you are for those to absorb in the Lord. Like, Brahma absorbed in the Lord, Dhruva absorbed in the Lord, Narada boy absorbed in the form of the Lord. That is completely spiritual. It is even beyond the fallen position. And in this way, our chanting of the holy name can be very attentive and focused. And this kind of preliminary absorption in the chanting of the holy name, which we can do in the beginning of the chanting, this will make us oblivious to the material surroundings. Actually, we are physically surrounded by material surroundings. After you close your eyes, most of the eyes, and then you meditate like this, physical space leaves you. But then there is a mental space is occupied by the anxieties, dualities. Then you have to get out of the mental space also. For that, this absorption is very powerful. Because that mental absorption is very difficult because we have immediate problems to be solved. So the mental mind becomes preoccupied with those worries. In daytime, they are too much. But in the early morning hours, it is possible for us to, push them away by positive spiritual absorption. That is why the Brahma Murta is emphasized. Our strength to kick the mental unwanted preoccupation of the mind, throw it out of the window and focus on our spiritual practice is more easy in which hours? The early morning hours. But the daytime, it pushes us so much. We have the daytime practically we have no strength. It's like a big hippopotamus sitting on you. You are flat on the ground practically. You won't be able to get out. So much of passion in the day, it just sits on us. Whereas in the early morning hour, you have that strength to kick that away by positive absorption. And what positive absorption we can do, I told you. So, one place I read that one should think about how Mahavishnu created the Srishti and how he entered as Garbhadaksha Vishnu. How he is lying as Kshirodaksha Vishnu and glancing at everything happening. And all these 3 Vishnus emerging from Krishna. And Krishna is the spiritual world performing Leela. So this is the absorption of a yogi in the Yoga Ruda stage. So one is in Yoga Rurukshu and Yoga Ruda. One has come to Yoga Ruda stage, who is a Krishna devotee. This is absorption. So in this way, this positive mental, spiritual absorption can help us kick out the negative duality absorption, which is actually pinning us down on the material plane. In this way, the chanting of the holy name should be performed. Calling out of the Lord will become a very meaningful calling because Lord becomes everything during such a chanting. And we get out of that self-absorption. Self-absorption is duality. My pride, my success and my failure, my this, my... We should get rid of that self-absorption and we should convert it into Krishna absorption. The gopis completely forgot their existence when they were dancing with Krishna. They only, the Sarvam Krishnamayam Jagat, it became like that for them. So, forgetting oneself and remembering Krishna, Krishnartha Akhila Cheshta, that is the goal of spiritual life. And the daily chanting is meant to take us towards that destination. Harinam Prabhu ki. Thank you very much. There are many devotees here. Many have died.
Even on the Zoom, if somebody else...
They can remember one point I spoke, you can tell them. One point each can recollect. That will give me greater satisfaction that one point somebody has captured.
So Prabhuji is saying, please everyone share one point that you captured from the class today.
Wake up early in the morning before the Muhurta, chant 16 rounds fully.
Yes, Haribo. Perfect. Another devotee. One more.
Getting association of devotees.
Yes. In what context I said taking association of devotees? You can bring that point to what I spoke in the class, Mataji, any point. Association of devotees is a very important point, there is no doubt about that. In which context I spoke that point? I think Lord told Shuddhadev importance of the devotees. Shuddhadev was glorifying the Lord told Shuddhadev, you are glorifying me, that is good. But those who have accompanied me, these sages, great devotees, they are like walking, talking tirthas. They are walking, talking scriptures. They are like mobile tirthas. So Lord glorified the devotees and told him the importance of association. I think Mataji is saying that point, I think. Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
Okay. There is, we all know that there is a very distinct, clear and important significance of like physical association.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, for example, right now we are sitting with you. So that
Versus online.
Online.
Yeah, correct.
At least there's like 100 times difference. So how do we keep that in the forefront of our mind? Because we are getting bereft of the opportunity to make tremendous progress
Correct.
through in-person association. Just because our mind tricks us saying, oh, even if I'm online, it's the same. So if you can shed some light, because in today's world, there is a big inertia.
Correct. In various places that I travel, many people ask a similar question, so I will share something regarding that. Now, first of all, the congregation should be convinced about, why we have to come in person, why we have to come personally. Why not just take online association? What difference is going to happen by coming personally? People sometimes ask a question. Actually, when we sit in a Bhagavatam class in a temple hall, versus sitting at home and hearing, we can easily see that we tend to become casual when we hear online. Because when we don't switch on the video, sometimes we do parallel processing. Some other activities also we do, along with, hearing the lecture. And as we do other activities, we tend to gradually shift our attention to those activities more, and something gets missed out in the lecture. We don't, what was he saying? Like that, we forget. We don't give our wholehearted attention in online. Whereas when you come to the temple, like for example, even in the temple when Bhagavatam is going on, some people try to reply SMS, some messages, WhatsApp or something, and they miss out. They miss out some. Everybody is laughing. What did Maharaj say? They will ask, because they did not pay attention. Correct, no? So if in temple it can happen in a public class, how much more it can happen in online? You can think about it. And that too when videos are off. This is one of the reasons. Because spiritual knowledge acquiring means, we should be able to attentively hear. Tat shrunu, Krishna said, no? Mayasakta manapartha yogam injan vadashaya asamshayam samagramam yata ajnasya tat shrunu. So just hear. Another word comes in this one. Tatra kirtayato vipra vishay bhuri tejasaha aham chadya gamam tatra nivishtastat anugrahat. This is said by our Sutta Goswami. He said, in the same assembly where Shukdev Goswami spoke to Parikshit, I was also present, he says. He says that. Tatra kirtayato vipra vishay bhuri tejasaha. The great sage Shukadeva was effulgent and very powerful, very intelligent. And when he spoke, thousands of sages attended his lecture. And then the audience was mainly Parikshit. And I was also present. Aham chadyagamam tatra, he says. But I had only one qualification, he says. What is it? Nivishtastat anugrahat, he says. I attentively heard his lecture, he says. It's a very big qualification. If one can attentively hear every bit of what is being spoken, correct? No? So those who hear well, they can speak well, because they can hold well. Those who hear well. Those who don't hear so well, sometimes the newcomers come, you give a lecture, so they can't recollect one point from the class, even after 1 hour class also, because they don't hear. Their mind is too much divided amongst many different things like that. So that's one of the reasons we have to come to the temple. And also in the temple you get the flower to smell, you get the charanamrit in the temple, you can circumambulate the Lord, you can bow down to the Lord, you can dance with devotees in the Sankirtan, and you can take prasad with devotees. And all these things get missed out when we are only online, correct? No? These things are missed. And also taking the class, japa. In the japa, what happens when we chant with devotees? Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells about 3 types of problems: jadya, vikshepa, and what is the third one? Jadya is laziness, lethargy, and vikshepa is the mind wandering. The third is apratipatti, which is actually mind is also not wandering, and sleep is also not coming, but lack of taste. Some people have. They are wide awake, and mind is also not wandering now, but lagan is not there. So for each of this he gives solution. So for lethargy he is saying one should go and chant with devotees who are very enthusiastic in chanting. For example, I am feeling very drowsy. One devotee is very vigorously chanting. They are looking at Hare Krishna. You have seen that people do that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then they drowse and then they see, hey. They see and then they become enthusiastic. You have seen that? Some people. So that is lethargy. And then similarly mind wandering, like you are sitting, during chanting you take out your mobile. If you have another devotee, he will tell you, Prabhuji, keep it aside, don't touch it. So already mind is wandering, is additional wandering. Taking this and wander even more, isn't it? So if you are physically sitting with a devotee, isn't it? Devotee will say that, hey Prabhuji, first complete your rounds, you can do all this. Even I have told my assistants also, traveling with me in India also, like that. There is a tendency in people, after every 2 rounds, to do something. Actually, then the momentum cannot build up. The energy for spiritual energy to build in our system, we should throw everything away. Just 16 rounds at a stretch. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, 4 rounds you should not break. This 4 round is called 1 kanti. So we are actually chanting 4 kantis only. 4 kanti, 4 into 4, 16. So he says, if you have to also drink water or get up or anything, for 4 rounds you don't get up, he says. Because it takes 4 rounds to build up the spiritual momentum. Then quickly you do something and come back and sit again 4 rounds, you don't get up. So sitting with devotees, vikshepa, the mind wandering can be reduced. Especially in assembly of devotees, when we look at each other seriously chanting. Correct, no? Yeah. And the third one, the apratipatti, which means lack of taste, the most dangerous thing. Because vikshepa, distraction is due to alternative attractions. Whereas the third apratipatti is due to attachments. Out of the two, attraction and attachment, which is more dangerous? Attachment. Because attraction is superficial. Attraction can be overcome. But attachment is such a deep thing. Even the intelligence becomes a slave of mind when there are attachments. Just like Dhritarashtra was attached to Duryodhana. It's like that. So, when there are strong attachments, a foolish living entity thinks, I know everything. Even if he goes to ISKCON temple, somebody is speaking lecture, he thinks, and that guy doesn't know much, I know better, he thinks like that. The mind thinks, attached person is very nasty, very dangerous. So, when you come in the assembly of devotees, attached person at least will have respect for 1 or 2 people whom he adores. That is the only hope for that fellow. So, if somebody is materially attached, like some people are scientific minded people, they have to be introduced to people who are scientifically beyond their head, beyond their intelligence. Like in Pune, we had Chachancharan Prabhu. He used to ask me questions, I used to answer in the early days. But later on, he brought many difficult questions. And and my answers wouldn't satisfy him. So he was very disturbed for some period of time. Then Michael Kramo came to Pune. His name is Dhruta Prabhu. 3 days he was there. He would wear saffron. Daytime he would wear pant, shirt, coat, suit, boot and go for research institutes to give lectures and all. He would go. He had brought the book Human Devolution and all that. So I told him to go and meet him. He went to his room for 2 to 3 hours. All his questions he asked. When he came out, he was like Nimai Pandit returning after Gaya. He was completely satisfied. He said, Prabhu, what kind of personality he is. The kind of answers he gave, it was mind-boggling. He smashed all my questions to dust. And that day I understood one thing. Every fellow Ustad has a bigger Ustad than him. We should introduce. Like, Sarvam Bhattacharya was a Ustad in Sanskrit. When Mahaprabhu asked him to give meaning of Atmaramasya Muniya verse, he gave 9 meanings he gave. He thought I have given 9 meanings. Mahaprabhu gave 63 meanings. After he was clean bowled. See, Bhattacharya's respect for Mahaprabhu is not only for his bhakti, but it is also for his Sanskrit, erudition in Sanskrit also. Similarly, if somebody is a very attached fellow, then we have to find out whom do they respect the most. Then connect with them and only that person can change them. Correct? So, in this way, coming in the association of devotees is a very vital aspect in making progress. He says, our Nimi Maharaj says, Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabanguraha tatrapi durlabam manye vaikunta priya darshanam. He says that in this world, to get a human form of life is the rarest thing. But more rarer than that is to get the personal association of devotee. He says that. Even more rarer than that. So, in this world, everybody has human form of life, but most people are wasting the human form of life. But we all know how to utilize it. But even after getting a spiritual organization like ISKCON, one should take the best advantage of it. If one doesn't take advantage, then one will not make much progress. Correct? So, when we come in the association of devotees, by their company, our priorities will change. We will start giving more importance to morning program, chanting, reading, hearing, services. And the material priorities can be put little aside and then they will be taken care. Material actually success follows spiritual success like a shadow. Your material needs are taken care by Krishna. Krishna knows this devotee is surrendering to me. Then he will make arrangements in such a miraculous way. How things get adjusted, you cannot even say. Yeah. So, Sangha is very important. Nowadays what people are doing, I'll tell you, in most of the ISKCON temples, many of the congregation devotees also think that once a month we can go, or twice a month we can go to the temple, and they go for one of the important programs. Some sannyasi, guru or somebody is coming, they go. Another one weekend they go for taking their group for trips, outdoor trips they take. And another 1 week they keep it for the children. Children, family members, give some time. Weekend is the time, you get some time like that. And the last weekend, they relax. Like that. Then how will they grow? Actually, Prabhupada made the Sunday love feast. Every Sunday you have to be in the temple. Sunday, that too you have to come at 4:30 in the morning. So 4:30 to 9:30. You see, I can tell you a real story. In Chowpatty, Dwarkadishpu asked Maharaj, we are all coming from Meera Road. We come at 4:30 in the morning. And we attend the whole program. Maharaj's Bhagavatam used to be 8 to 10. 10 o'clock we take the khichdi, prasad. And after that we hang around talking to devotees and all, then Sunday feast. So at 12:30 Maharaj would start dancing in the Gaur Aarti. Maharaj would personally come, we always dance also. Govind Prabhu would be playing the big vampire, in those days, or playing Mridangam, All Shaman Prabhu, everybody would be there. 12:30, Maharaj only taught us how to dance also. Harihara Mandala, how we are dancing, because he only taught. So he personally would dance and teach, and then we would form a circle and everybody will sit down, Maharaj will dance in the middle, And the Aarti is a very important thing, it will go from 12:30 to 1:30, And 1:30 everybody will settle and Maharaj will start the lecture. And that will go till 3:30, 3:45, it will go. And nobody would mind it because they have eaten a breakfast only at 10:30, 11. So lunch will be at 4 o'clock. They will take at 4. So Dwarkadishpu told Maharaj, by the time we reach home it is 7. Whole Sunday is gone. And I was telling. So Maharaj, we have a request to you. You tell us if you are going to give in the morning Bhagavatam, we will come for that. Then you can go back. Or we will directly come for the Sunday feast, And then second part of the day we can give. So the first part of the day, all counselors are feeling that we can get half Sunday for other activities. Maharaj didn't agree. Maharaj said, nothing doing. Maharaj said, your whole day going in temple is very wonderful, he said. It's very wonderful. He said, morning Bhagavatam and afternoon Sunday feast. In between you get to meet devotees. This is real life. Spend time with devotees, sit with groups of devotees, meet your seniors, meet your equals, meet your juniors. And then Maharaj also told the brahmacharis that you should arrange facilities when congregation devotees want some room or, if they want to relax a little bit in between. So relaxation should be done. But actually, in the 2 times this was brought, agenda was brought to Maharaj. Both the times Maharaj didn't agree to change it. Maharaj said, whoever is able to come, let them come. We will not tell them come only for this or only for that. But eventually, with the passing years, many congregation devotees decided themselves that if Maharaj is giving Sunday feast, we will come for Sunday feast. Or we will come for the morning, like that. People made up their mind. And over a period of time, even not coming every Sunday also started. Then only one Sunday in a month you come, other Sunday, as I told you, they become slack like this. So it becomes very difficult to assemble the devotees nowadays. Many people think YouTube you are getting lectures, big speakers are speaking, and you very easily you can hear YouTube lectures at your own leisure, whenever you want. People think like that. Actually, yes, you can hear YouTube lecture, but tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashana seva, which you say, the submissive inquiry, and rendering service. Many times YouTube you hear a big speaker speaking, but how will you ask questions to him? So the questions will remain unanswered. I try my best to catch up with all the answers. Anybody asks a YouTube query, I reply also. I've been replying regularly. Sometimes once in 3 days I reply. Like that. But not all YouTubers will reply. If you say Amogala Prabhu, for example, Amarendra Prabhu, I don't know whether your question will be seen also, if you put, correct, no? So many times you hear, but your doubts remain unanswered. They may remain like that. Another thing is, the YouTuber, he may give lectures, but he doesn't know your situation. But local devotees will know who you are and what are your challenges, your mentor, for example. I always tell in my lectures, everybody should have a local mentor. You should have, because local mentor is like you see, in a train, sometimes the mother, father, they have a beautiful baby. Somebody picks up the baby and feeds some toffee or something and they give back. That is one type of joy you have by picking up a child. But mother and father are like cleaning stool and urine of the child also. And day in and day out for years together. So mentor is like that. Correct, no? And the YouTubers are like, somebody taking a baby and giving it out and giving back. Isn't it? Because they don't have to deal with the baggage of the child. Correct, no? Those who are local mentors, leaders. If mentees don't go and sit with them and hear from them and learn from them and develop a very strong Priti Lakshana bond with them, then hearing from YouTube doesn't build their right attitude. This is my experience. That particular type of Vaishnava attitude cannot develop simply by hearing big lectures. Only their head will grow big. They'll become big scholar. Yeah, that submissive spirit, humility, tolerance, patience, these things won't come. Not only I would say that the mentee should take shelter of mentor, each one teaches one while being taught by one. You draw from your superior and you give to people, other people also. When you do, then you also grow and then you will also make people grow. And community means people should come together actually, everywhere. Wherever I am traveling, I am telling this point that, even when somebody asks me, can you be my guide? So I'll tell them, you will only get my attention once in 6 months or once in 3 months. But if you take one person who is ready to guide you, you will get his attention anytime you want. So then they also understand, yes, we need somebody, even though they may be junior to me. So in this way, the coming together, being with one another is a very important principle, which was very easy in those days because the village people, outside the village, they did not much connect with other villages. So the whole village was like a tribe, like a group, community. And because the global connectivity was not there in those days. ISKCON temples were also like that. I remember in 91 when I came to Chowpatty, very sweet community. But as the number increases and there's a global connectivity, people go everywhere. And after that, the city also becomes very difficult to commute, very heavy traffic. So in Pune also what we are trying to do is make multiple communities, so that people don't have to travel too far. But every community means 100 to 300 people. That's a very good community. But they all should come in their own community. The big temples, some Maharaj comes, they can go there. But in this community, everybody should come, 100 to 300 people. And the Preetilaksham development is a very important thing. Maybe tomorrow evening I can speak on that. I have a very nice PowerPoint. I'm going to Vanamali Gopal Prabhu's house tomorrow evening. Vanamali Gopal Prabhu, you had any topic on my mind for tomorrow evening or today evening? Tomorrow evening. Or I can speak on this.
It's already announced, Prabhuji. It's the art of finding a balance, family, work, and spiritual life.
Okay. Balance, okay. I speak on that. No problem. This is a very important question also for many. How to get time for everything. Correct, no? Yeah. Sure. We will talk about that. Yeah. Thank you all very much. Sorry to disturb in your chanting, japa in between. If somebody has...
I am a late chanter, Prabhuji. I'm sorry. I am not following your instruction of
But what time you sleep at night?
Me, very late, Prabhuji, sometimes 10:30, 9:30. I sleep little longer too.
Yeah, but you can't go to bed early and sleep longer. You sleep at 8 and get up at 5.
Yeah, it is possible. 9 hours, I will go early in the bed.
Actually, in ashram also, we told some brahmacharis who need longer sleep, we tell them to sleep early. Instead of cutting in the morning, you cut in the night. Otherwise they'll be sitting with their computer, mobile and everything. Go to bed early. Yeah.
Yes, very true.
He's very bold and honest. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
There is one question in the chat.
Acha, read it. What is written?
Prabhuji, after a year, I had a question I just posted in the chat.
Acha, I can't see the chat. Is it chat here?
Can you speak?
You can read out. You can read it out.
I can say.
Yeah.
So, you spoke about anxiety, Prabhuji, that Yashoda ji also had anxiety.
Correct.
Gopis had anxiety.
Correct.
For Krishna,
Yeah.
right? But was that in the spiritual world you're talking, or was that
Both.
also material?
In the material world and spiritual world, there is a spiritual bliss and there is also spiritual anxiety, both. In both places.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we all tend to think that in the spiritual world, is a place where you go there and that's it. After that, there is no more anxiety and no more work, no more burden. No, spiritual world is a place where everybody is busy and active in Lord's service, isn't it?
Thanks.
But that activity is not burdensome. See, in the material world, we have material body.
Go slow.
I think they are
Slow. All down, slowly.
in the material world. Yeah. See, in the material world, you will see that, because we are carrying the baggage of the material body, it has hunger, thirst, old age, disease, death, and lamentation. 6 types of whips they are called. So in the material world we find this. Similarly, Kshat, Pipasa, Jara, Mrityu, Shoka, Moha. Yeah. So these are the 6 whips we call it. So, and also apart from the Trivida Tap we have, then Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi we have, isn't it? So, but in the spiritual world these are absent. You only have the spiritual body, because spiritual body cannot be cut by scissor, cannot be burned by fire. So in that sense you have no anxiety, no fear. Nevertheless, there is anxiety arising from love. Like, Yashoda, for example, Krishna in spiritual world also he goes for herding the cows. In the morning she does Shringar for Krishna, Yashoda. And then covered boys also come and give different ornaments and everything, they also help in Shringar. And then when Krishna goes for herding the cows and calves, Yashoda is waiting for him. So evening Krishna will come back, meanwhile she is remembering Krishna and rendering services. At that time she has some anxieties. So when he is going to forest, she has different type of thoughts. But when he comes back, she is very happy. Similarly, gopis also, they can't meet Krishna in the day. When Krishna goes and then he comes in the evening, then he can see him. Some of the covered boys cannot see Krishna between evening and the next day morning. You know, one of the days, one covered boy got up at 11 o'clock. He went to Yashoda Bhavan and said, "Hey, Kana, come, it's time for going to forest." Yashoda said, "Hey, is it the time? Go back and sleep." She said. So, covered boys are anxious to be with Krishna even in the night. So, in this way, these spiritual anxieties lead to more bliss for them. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. But I just wanted to know that was the Dwarpa, the yug, right? When we are talking about Yashoda and Gopi, but was that also? Why are we calling that as a spiritual world? Was that?
Oh, right. Now I understand. Yeah, you see, when we talk about the spiritual, actually Krishna. Some people think that Krishna is junior and Rama is senior. Rama appeared in Treta Yuga. But there is one purport of Prabhupada in the Prithu section where Ari Radheshyam Krishnam Acharat Tapa Uttamam. There is one verse. In that purport, Prabhupada writes, I think you have to mute, I think. Yeah, you can mute it. See, some people think that Krishna only appeared in Dwapara Yuga, which is not true. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, they can hear me? Yeah. See, in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, even in Satya Yuga there were Krishna temples. How is the proof? Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor, about Ambarish Maharaj we say. There it comes, Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drisha. There is Lord Mukunda's temple even in Satya Yuga. Maji, you heard about our Ambarish? You heard? Atrey Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, I think she must be young, I think. New to devotional service. Yeah. Gita class is coming. Yeah. Okay, actually even in Satya Yuga there were Krishna temples, which means from the dawn of creation, Satya, Teta, Dwapara, Kali, it has been going round and round. Since then Krishna temples have been there. And also Krishna is not only appearing in Dwapara Yuga, Shastras say that amongst all the different 33 crore devatas, Krishna is called as Purna Purushottam. You heard the word Purna Purushottam?
Yes.
Yes. And Lord Rama is called Maryada Purushottam. And Lord Vishnu is called Purushottam, Leela Purushottam. See, what is the difference between these three personalities? There is no difference. All three are same. It's like one person doing triple acting, like Vishnu, Ram and Krishna. The difference is, like a Prime Minister of India, for example, he is in Parliament, and the same person is in home. You understand the mood difference between home and Parliament?
Yes.
Yeah. So Vishnu and Ram are like Parliament personality, and Krishna is like the home personality. So at home he doesn't carry any weapons, whereas in Parliament, for example, army officers carry all the weapons and everything. Correct, no? So you will learn it more. According to Shastra, the eternal Purushottama who exists forever, eternal in spiritual world, in the homeless situation is Krishna. That's called Goloka, we call it. And Lord is in Parliament, that is Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is Parliament. Is that clear?
Yes.
Actually, it will become clear to you. One of our books recently was released. It's Gita for All Made Easy. It has come out. It's going to come to US also. It's going to come. It comes, I'll send you. There, we have taken one full chapter on God and gods. We have explained all those things. But you are attending Gita classes, you continue attending, these things will become more and more clear for you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.